welcome back. It's been a long one. This is the summer catch-up of the Retrocade podcast, episode 15. It's Phil and
Sean. Certainly longer than our, more recent hiatuses.
Yeah, this is a full summer hiatus catch-up episode. We got a lot to discuss. There's been tons going on. There was Star Wars Celebration. There was San Diego Comic-Con. There's been tons of movies, tons of stuff, tons of properties and
everything
between TV shows, Netflix shows, movies.
Fully packed.
We're on a packed schedule here, but we got a lot to take care of, and I guess we'll start it off with what should we start it off with? Perhaps we'll go all the way to the beginning of the summer. I think the last episode we talked about Civil War and everything, and Batman v Superman. I guess we could start it off with maybe Independence Day 2. We saw that.
I guess we'll start on a damper here.
We'll start on a damper in Independence Day 2. Now, listen, I grew up loving that movie because it came out in 96. I was 8 years old. That was the summer of 96, and that movie was great. Will Smith was on top of his game.
Will Smith was in his prime. He just kind of evolved from the Fresh Prince to Hollywood superstar.
Right from Fresh Prince, right to Independence Day to become a superstar. He did Bad Boys, and then a few other movies, and then this really, the summer was his, from then on pretty much, with that, and then Men in Black the next summer.
Typically, it was 10 years too late, I think. If it was 10 years ago, I would have done better.
Yeah.
In this day and age, it was just the rehash that was poor. Because if you look at other science fiction genres, it's outmatched.
I see a lot of people saying that they could have did it better, but I don't know what they mean by that, because it was like, well, this is the only way you could do it. It's like, well, because it's not 2016 our world. Remember, in 1996, that movie was 1996. Now that this movie is in an alternate 2016. It's a 2016 where aliens have invaded, and it's a different world because everything got destroyed. It's completely different. And they've used our technology to blend with their technology. They blended with ours to make more advanced stuff. So they kind of progress more. And I was like, all right, well, that makes the most sense, because how else would you do it? It's going to be an alternate 2016. It's not going to be the one now because aliens had invaded 20 years ago and wrecked shit. But I'm going to be honest, it was a piece of schlock.
The flow, it was slow. The plot was relatively boring.
Yeah.
And
as is the case with Dean Devlin and...
the premise, okay. The aliens return for their sort of, comeback revenge.
Yeah.
But why would you keep them alive? To study them? It's clearly,
Oh, which ones? Are you talking about the aliens that they caught?
Yeah, it just was poorly done.
Yeah,
the timing was bad. And listen, I'm not, I don't live by the critics like you do.
I don't live by the critics.
A Rotten Tomato critic yourself.
But the thing is that now it's got a 34% on Rotten Tomatoes. Does it deserve a 34? I think it could go a little higher. I think I gave it maybe like a 2.5 out of 5. Like, it's not like some people are looking at it as an abortion. Now, me and Sean went with a group of people, and one of them walked out an hour into it.
Honestly, I don't blame him. I thought about it, but I'm like, that's absurd.
I figured there was more to come. I mean, he was walking out in the middle of it when it was just there was exposition going on.
Will I watch it again? No. Will I recommend it to anyone? No.
So what would you give it out of 5 then?
Out of 5, maybe a high 2-star. Oh, being,
If 3 would be good, because 3 is like 60%. That's like passing.
I'll say 35-40 range tops.
So
I was under 50 for sure.
For percentage-wise?
Yes.
So what are you giving it as stars?
1.5 to 2.
Oh, I'll give it better than that. I'll give it 2.5 because
it's a skip to move forward.
You don't have to see it. I mean, if you're a fan of the original, go watch it. It might disappoint you. I'm not gonna say it disappointed me. Well, it wasn't great. What are you expecting from an Independence Day? A lot of people don't even like the first one. The first one doesn't even have a great rating on Independence.
Well, I feel it got passed around by probably like 15 studios, and one of them's like, let's roll the dice.
Well, it was still it was Fox altogether, but Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. Roland Emmerich, first of all, he's been making these shitty, popcorn movies since the 90s. He did the original Godzilla movie. He did The Day After Tomorrow.
Oh, you talking about the Matthew Broderick?
The Matthew Broderick abortion. Yeah. That's an abortion.
This guy just... How does he still have a job? You know, he's getting all these big budgets to
I know.
piss away.
He thought he was the next Spielberg, but he thought wrong. You know, all those kind of tropes, and he tried to make that Godzilla movie like Jurassic Park, kind of with a little Godzilla.
The new one, not too new, I think 2014.
2014, yeah.
I saw it in theaters.
That wasn't bad.
I generally enjoyed it.
No, that wasn't bad. It wasn't amazing.
This is the thing with Godzilla. It's like changing Mario's image. It's such a time-tested icon, especially in Japan.
Iconic creature like
and
King
even
Kong.
cinema film, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in general.
And you just gotta change his fucking look. It's like in the 80s they had a new Coke. It bombed miserably. You don't change.
Wait, you thought that, you're talking about the one.
The Broderick.
Yes, that one because they made it look more like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Whereas
to blend it with Jurassic Park.
The new one stuck to his original look.
Held true to the original look of Godzilla, sure.
And
but they changed him in '97 to make it more like the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
The look even, pissed people off. They're like, "What the fuck is this?"
No, I watched that movie a lot.
And
in
this
the
is
90s,
before the kind of YouTube era and the Rotten Tomatoes, where people couldn't make a backlash as much as they did.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, speaking of controversy, we're going to step right into Ghostbusters.
Sure, go ahead. Oh wow, yeah, it's another one.
Big movie, big hype.
A lot of drama.
There's a huge, tremendous kind of cult fan base.
Well, the original, of course. I mean, there's a huge... Ghostbusters still as a property, as a movie, has a huge fan base. People in their 20s and 30s hold that movie very, very dear to themselves. And so when they pulled out this new movie with Paul Feig saying that, it's going to be all-female, tremendous backlash, as we all know, is the most hated new movie trailer of, the most downvoted.
Now, do you think it was hated because of the female cast? Sure. Or as a response to it, you think?
As a response to it. People didn't want to give it a chance, but not to mention that trailer was cut like a piece of shit. So everybody's like, this is garbage. Once, unsubscribe, downvote. And I don't blame them. But I think some of the comments were just people trying to get a rise out of them. And it was working, Half of them on YouTube, weren't even using Twitter after a while because they were getting abused. Paul Feig was calling people...
Not quite. He looked very familiar. Where was he from?
He's directed episodes of The Office. You talking about Paul Feig himself?
He must have did some. He looked familiar.
He's directed episodes of The Office. He did Bridesmaids.
I reckon
the show Freaks and Geeks.
He recognized him.
He's a Hollywood guy. He's in
Hollywood. I don't know if you saw the documentary on Netflix, Ghost Heads.
Yeah, I didn't see I watched the trailer for it.
So it was on Netflix, so I checked it out.
It is on Netflix. I gotta watch it. Yeah.
And it was good, but it just showed the kind of the cult fun they have.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot. There's a few guys on Staten Island that are into it.
They essentially dress up.
They dress up and they go
each
around.
state has their own
Ghostbusters.
patch.
Yeah, each patch is
So,
like the New Jersey one has this Jersey.
So one of the main characters, it was a Jersey guy.
Yeah.
But they show Arizona. There's Canada ones, Mexico. And it's cool. They have conventions, and they all essentially wear the jumpsuit.
Right.
And some of these proton packs, they spend $5,000-$10,000.
Oh, sure. Some of them are perfect
They're
replicas.
at scale, the light system, the
beautiful.
whole nine.
Yeah. No, they go down to a T.
The movie actually ended with Feig inviting like 50 of the presidents of these Ghostbusters chapters to a screening of the movie.
Of the new movie, yeah. And
that's how the documentary ends. So I thought that was a cool.
Did they express their?
They didn't. It ends with them seeing the movie. They don't discuss it.
Because they would have probably, let's cut that out. We don't want to.
We didn't see it together, but we both saw the movie.
We both saw it.
And
I was in California when it came out, actually.
Again, another mixed review, kind of. But it made enough money where a sequel is green-lighted.
They left it open for a sequel, and there'll probably be a sequel.
It's green-lighted.
Yeah.
So what was your impression seeing? Because I was excited hearing the music, regardless of the gender of the cast. When they kind of beginning Ghost, there's a visual similar setup as the first movie. There's a ghost, someone gets slimed.
Yeah.
They play the iconic music, you see the pan out in New York City, and it was exciting to see that.
Yeah, no, I mean that was fine. Did I think the movie did anything great for the franchise? No. Does it bring it back for young people, like young children that don't know of Ghostbusters, and now they have a new Ghostbusters? Yeah, I guess. Is it better than the first two? No. And the second one, Ghostbusters 2, a lot of people don't like. It doesn't get favorable reviews a lot. And this Ghostbusters 2, I still like better than this. This wasn't a disaster.
I didn't dislike it.
I didn't dislike it either. I know you.
I would watch it again.
Yeah. It's better than Independence Day 2.
Oh, hands down. There was cool parts. The CGI was well done, I thought.
Yeah, some parts were a little schlocky, but
I mean,
most of it was...
The weekend where the villain was kind of weak and strange.
Should we... Yeah, we'll do... spoilers at this point. If you haven't seen it, I guess you don't care, because it's been out for over a month.
The cast... Marginal. The blonde Egon type, she was kind of amusing.
Kate McKinnon.
She was amusing.
A lot of people said that they didn't like her because they felt like she was in another movie because she was just acting ridiculous and they just felt shit. But she's supposed to be like a zany weirdo, right?
It's funny as they put like a GIF out there somewhere where it's her and Egon from the cartoon.
Yeah, she looks just like Egon from the cartoon.
It's pretty hilarious.
The hair and the glasses.
The hair, like the red specks, you know, the bifocals.
Totally.
And they played a good homage to the past.
Yeah.
Each of the original cast had a cameo. And even Egon, who's departed.
They had a statue of him, right?
They had a statue of him.
Was the statue?
Right in the beginning when
missed it.
Kristen Wiig's in the college office with like her boss trying to get tenure. Yeah. And when they're like in the college and she's walking to his office, in the background you see the bust of him.
Oh, was it an Egon Spengler one?
Yeah, it was Harold Ramis, but it was his face as Egon.
Oh, okay.
And it wasn't like a modern version where he's fat with a beard. It was
he did gain a lot of weight.
It was like a bust of him, sort of like in the Ghostbusters era, you know?
Yeah, because I actually want to take a picture. But what did you think of the other cameos then? In other words, because now everybody had a cameo. Now, did you see the cameo of Sigourney Weaver? Because I think I missed that. I must have conked out for a minute and missed it.
I don't remember her, to be honest.
Yeah, but the rest of them were in it. Now we had Dan Aykroyd as the cab driver.
Yes.
We had what's it called? We had Bill Murray as... It was
like a crazy psychic debunker guy.
He was kind of like the Walter Peck of the new movie. Like, I gotta stop the Ghostbusters. I don't trust what yous are doing. But he was only in there for 2 scenes. He's in a TV scene and a scene where he comes to the headquarters and comes in. He's like, I gotta sit down. He sits down right away, and then he dies. And then at the end, Ernie Hudson
plays her uncle.
Yeah, plays what's her name's uncle.
And because she mentioned she got the car from her uncle.
Yeah, her uncle.
And it was like he owns a funeral home, so the hearse kind of deal, which I thought was pretty funny.
That was fine. I think I liked his cameo the best, and also
Janine was a concierge hotel.
Yeah, she was a concierge hotel person. Yeah, exactly.
So those were cool. I enjoyed that.
Those were fine. Yeah.
And the new ghost tech was cool too.
Yeah,
these little trinkets and bombs.
Little trinkets, little guns, and
I thought that was pretty well done.
Stupid little things. So Ghost, I'm sure the fanboys of that part will enjoy that tech. These diehards. But as a movie, it's okay. Didn't really do much new. There was a bunch of the cameos.
So there was some Slimer as well. Yeah. There was sort of a Stay Puft.
The movie's got 73% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Listen,
and they left it open for a...
it was an enjoyable movie. It wasn't brilliant. And I would say watch it, for sure. Especially if you had some liking of the old... Probably the marketing perspective is, 10-year-old boys, 8-year-old boys, you're not buying women action figures,
No.
They're not doing that.
They're selling them. So who's buying them? Are little girls buying them? Or is
they might buy, traps or...
Yeah, they might buy that shit.
The tech.
The tech of it, yeah.
The ghosts.
Ghostbusters, yeah.
They're like, they're not buying a Melissa McCarthy action figure.
So you don't... they're likely not, but do you think there's a chance that they are? Nowadays?
Doubtful.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't have kids, so I don't know.
I can't look up the sales.
Yeah, I don't know what the sales levels are, but... So they left it open for a sequel. There'll probably be a sequel.
I think it was greenlit, because they didn't make a killing, but they didn't lose money, from what I understand.
Yeah. No. It was profitable, and so the main bad guy was essentially some
freak
weirdo who dies and who kills himself or whatever, and then turns into choose the form of the Destructor like they did with Stay Puft and Gozer, but only instead of Stay Puft, who makes a brief cameo himself. Stay Puft's in it for a second. But they have the ghost from the no ghost insignia, the ghost symbol. That's the bad guy, the form of the bad guy.
That was cool. That was also interesting, I thought. And Slimer's in there with Mrs. Slimer.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was
a female Slimer.
I never knew she was even a character.
Yeah, now they got a female Slimer in them. And they stole the Ecto-1.
And he's driving around, he's eating.
Yeah,
I think he has other ghosts, like
like
joyriding and stuff.
His other ghost joyriding with him, yeah.
Slimers seem relatively popular, I have to say.
No, of course. Slimer's iconic, you know. It's part of the series. Who's more iconic, do you think, Slimer or Stay Puft?
I would say Slimer's on more shirts and merchandise.
Yeah, although Stay Puft's out there plenty too. So it's a tough
interestingly, I was at the Monmouth racetrack maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and there's a small little arcade there by the bathroom. So I just peeked in, and they had one of those kind of crane games.
Sure.
And this one machine had all these Slimers in it.
Yeah. I seen a lot of those. So I saw those at Santa Monica Pier.
I had 50 cents in my pocket, so I'm like, I'll get a Slimer doll. I wasn't successful in my 1 50-cent venture, but I did attempt because they look cool.
My friend Matt, that we were actually at the arcade in the Santa Monica Pier, and my friend Matt did one of these like kind of Wheel of Fortune games, and he won. He got like 500 the tickets, you know, and he traded in for one of the littler Ghost Stay Puft figures. They had the Slimers too.
They had to stay. I was more interested in the Slimer personally.
The Slimers were nice too. He ended up getting himself a Stay Puft, and but they were.
They had Stay Puft in there.
Yeah, they had them too for the movie. In fact, I was at the now I was at Point Pleasant Boardwalk yesterday, and now they still had Slimers and Stay Puffs, but now it seemed like the big stuffed animals anywhere were Pokemon. Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur.
So we could segue into this Pokemon Go.
Right into Pokemon Go, yeah, which is obviously a craze that exploded.
It's cooled down.
It's definitely cooled down.
But it's.
I'm sure anybody who's listening to this understands that a few weeks back, 5 weeks back, this thing was a crazy craze where everybody was playing it.
There was a week or so where Pokemon's on fucking news headlines.
Yeah, it's back, you know. I didn't know how long it was going to last, but it was massive weeks 1 and 2.
There's communities that were developing.
Yeah,
you know?
It was just insane. Everybody, like, you'd go to like the popular areas where
within Staten Island perspective, the two areas that come to mind is Richmond Town.
Richmond Town's like the biggest.
And the Staten Island, like Midland Beach, South Beach Pier.
The Pier's got.
I remember going there.
I went to both
3 weeks to a month ago. I'd say around midnight, brought a case of beer with me. 12-pack with a couple friends.
Sure.
And massively crowded.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking midnight. 100+ people playing Pokemon. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck universe is this?
That's how it was the first night I went to Richmond Town. I was like, what? It was late at night, like 1 a.m., and it's just packed. It was like Halloween, but not, you know?
And,
just kids walking the streets.
It's... The problem with the game is, too, that, some of these people became fanatics. And I know some fanatics personally.
Sure.
And they play all the fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And the game... The subject matter of the game is pretty repetitive. Where
you have to grind. It's like any other video game that takes a long time. When you have to log tons of hours playing it. You have to grind. You have to catch Pokemon to get the candy to evolve Pokemon or beef them up.
But no, was it a phenomenon? Yes. Has it slowed down? Yes. I stopped playing. I'm about level 17.
That's it. I got to level 22. I'm still playing, but just not as much. I played over the weekend, but I played both days, Friday and Saturday and Sunday over the weekend, and I was like, I just spent too much time doing this. But one of my friends likes to do it, and it gets people out, just hanging out, and it's better than people.
It's very, and you can see it's the beginning of those kind of EI games. Where there's some kind of pronunciation.
Sure.
Where they're not as much focused on the graphics as the social interface of the game.
Yes, that's Niantic, who is the company that developed the game. That's what they say. They want to make it social, but they've been changing things and to people's dismay. So I think that's gotten.
Well, I think the dismay was you have these collectors. They almost want to call them not cheaters, but they need everything, and maybe they have ADD or some sort of compulsive, need to have everything completed.
Sure.
So when they had these Poker Radar type apps where it's like, oh shit, there's an Aerodactyl 12 blocks from here. When Niantic removed that, they got pissed off. Because now they're like, how am I going to get an Aerodactyl?
The problem was, now if anybody plays the game, now they had these footprints that would tell you, if 3 footprints, you saw Pokemon, it's like, oh wow, the guy's close. 3 footprints would tell you that he was in a certain radius. And then if it went down to 2 footprints, that meant he's even closer. And then one footprint was a big deal. It was like, oh, he's close. And then he would probably pop up, the Pokemon would pop up, and then you could go catch him. Now with one of the updates, they threw all that out. And also these, what Sean was just referring to was these third-party websites that would tell you where a certain Pokemon was spawning, and you can just go there and catch it. It's like, oh, there's a rare Pokemon on this block, and you can just drive there and just go get it. They spawn for a certain amount of minutes, and then you can go get it. So and that was clutch, but also kind of cheating, because you're not supposed to know exactly where a Pokemon is and just drive to it. So with the update, they shut that out. But they also shut down the footprints, which sucked because at least the footprints was cool because it wasn't cheating. It was kind of
telling an idea.
But it gave you some excitement when it was like, oh, it's close, it's closer, it's right here. Like that was the excitement of catching him. Now it's like, oh, it's on the list. It's like, oh, it's somewhere. Where I don't know. So it's kind of more random, which is a little shittier when it comes to that. And that's really the main part of the game is going around.
I do remember getting excitement though when I was driving to work, or it was early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Out of nowhere, a fucking Snorlax pops up.
Yeah.
And I caught him, and I'm like, oh shit.
Nice. What CP was he?
Low thousands, maybe like 1,200 or something.
My Snorlax is like a 16 something.
I mean 12, 13, but there was excitement to that.
That's
like, oh shit,
a rare Pokemon to snag. Yeah.
But then after 200 Pidgeys, you're like, fuck this game.
What's the problem? There's just Pidgeys everywhere. But the problem is that you have to dedicate time, because if it's like, well, am I gonna go play Pokemon hunting right now? It's like it's gonna be, because you can't. It's like an hour's not enough. You got to play for a couple hours, because like the first hour, Pidgeys, just shitty Pokemon, and then sometime within that 2 hours, a rare Pokemon. Then you get it. Maybe you level up. You get some supplies at like the Pokestops or whatever. You get Pokeballs.
It was potions. A cool phenomenon, and
Sean says was because he's done playing, I guess.
Well, you could see that there's still very passionate fans.
Yeah, the more diehards.
The massive collective has diminished.
Well, yeah, the general public has kind of.
The game's not going anywhere. It has a strong cult following, but of everyone walking down the street playing those,
done. Yeah. Everybody, like how not everyone plays Candy Crush, but it's still popular. Like I don't play Candy Crush, but it's apparently still a profitable, popular game. Pokemon Go will essentially become like that. You'll hear of people playing it, and
they have.
I'm sure
they have an additional 500 Pokemon to be released. So
yeah, they're gonna.
The game's not going anywhere.
And exactly. They'll throw out the new waves of Pokemon. The problem with somebody like me is that I really don't give a fuck about those extra waves. I grew up with the original 150. I remember the next wave.
No, the Gold, Silver, I'm still very familiar with. After that, it gets a little.
You could name a lot of those.
Gold, Silver, I know well.
I could name you like Lugia, Feraligatr, Sneasel, Togepi.
Well, we played the cards then too. You know?
Well, I still kind of played the cards. I played Gold and Silver briefly, and then somebody stole my Gold and Silver game, so I was out of it by then. But I was still in it, but didn't care as much. So the ones I
saw some previews of Sun and Moon, which is the next
wave of Pokemon.
They're pretty cool additions where it's not so much new Pokemon, it's alterations to old Pokemon.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
So what I'm describing is, for example, they made Ninetales like an ice type, Marowak a ghost type.
Oh, sick.
So they put all these, I think Arcanine a water type.
Right.
So they just altered these traditional Pokemon. It looks really cool.
Sure.
Like Executor gets some kind of different form where he has like a longer neck, and he's part dragon.
Oh my god. He's actually strong in Pokemon Go. He's useful.
So they're making fresh blood into a very old franchise.
Invigorating.
And you could fly Charizards and other Pokemon. It looks pretty cool.
Did you hear about the, now some people made a third-party Pokemon game that got shut down. It's called Pokemon Uranium, where that a lot of people were playing it. It was like a third, like a kid. People made it.
How could you play it and what? Was it a computer game?
Check it.
I doubt.
I didn't look
you can play it on a 3DS, for example, which is typically.
I think maybe. Oh, it was a download.
It had to be some kind of hacked interface. You can't just get a cartridge and throw it in there.
No, I'm assuming maybe you fan-made RPG, but yeah, it was it was for PC or Mac, I guess, but you couldn't play. But apparently the guys that made it shut it down, fearing litigation from Nintendo.
Listen, Pokemon is a powerhouse. What I noticed specifically is we were relatively young when we were playing it.
Sure was.
It's been around for 15 or so years now, and the little kids fucking love it. So it's transcended into lower generations.
Yeah, it's multi-generational now.
If you see 7-year-old kids, they're all about Pokemon.
Yeah,
they love it.
I was at I seen kids with Pokemon shirts, all the toys. And now with Pokemon Go, now there's every age likes it. So that pulls down. So now you have, college kids liking the game, down to high school kids, the middle school kids, and then they're all because they're all looking up to the next kid, next older kid. So it's like, oh, the 13-year-olds like it. Let the 12-year-olds and so forth, and down to 5-year-olds are playing this game.
For
so
example,
it's very popular.
I played recently, maybe a month or two ago. My 18-year-old cousin.
Mm-hmm.
I played him in battling on the 3DS. And I'm 10 years older than him.
Right. So it's a good way of bonding.
And for example, he's 10 years older than other kids that are playing.
Right.
So that's a 20-year age gap of people playing the same fucking game. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. The influence of Pokemon on the modern culture. Yeah, it's all the way up. But yeah, so will it stick around? It'll probably stick around, but just not in the crazy phenomenon that it was, a month ago. But I've seen everybody playing. I see grandmothers playing. In fact, it was a little awkward seeing the grandma playing. I was like, oh, that's it. The game's gonna get ruined if grandma start playing it. My friend
She's
told
like,
me,
is that a Pikachu? And I was like, no, it's a Nidoran. A Nidoran.
My friend told me a story in the ferry terminal that he saw like a 50-something-year-old Spanish woman be like, oh shit, I called him Mankey.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was just everybody's playing it because it's a free app. Anybody could download it. Everybody's got a smartphone. It's not like you need anything special to play it. Some people say, oh, that's just crazy. I'll download it and be cool. So there is a lot of that. I think the game will still be popular, just not insanely popular like it was. You'll have naysayers and people that still like it, together, both, and that'll be that. But next subject, we will let's delve upon. The Killing Joke. Now, I didn't see it. Sean saw it. It was essentially they made a cartoon movie from the...
So it was rated R, DC animation, which...
You sure?
I know the DC cinema has been getting a lot of flack lately.
Yeah, which we'll delve on.
Had some issues with the critics especially, but... Sure. One thing that DC does superbly well, better than Marvel, hands down, is their animated films.
Their animated films are good.
Hands down better than Marvel.
And what is Marvel's animated films now anyway?
They've come out, and they're just shitty.
But the Killing Joke is essentially a movie or film.
It's based on a classic graphic novel written by Alan Moore.
Sure, it's Alan
Moore.
Moore.
If you're not familiar with, also wrote The Watchmen, Swamp Thing.
Right.
He's an iconic writer.
Very iconic.
Massive. Yeah. In the comic world.
He's a big hippie-looking guy with
a long beard.
Long beard
he looks
hair.
strange, but he's literally
he's English. He's not even American.
He's an icon in the comic world.
Absolutely.
And so just
I'm not a huge in the comics, and I know.
Killing Joke, world renowned. The Watchmen, world renowned.
Very popular. And the Killing Joke is not a recent graphic novel.
In the 80s.
80 is right before the Batman movie came out. So maybe 88, whatever.
And at that time, you have to realize too, where comics are kind of in the afterthought.
That's right, because you had video games, arcades, things like that. TV.
Comics in the early 90s, was like X-Men and stuff like that, Batman animated series, they kind of had a resurrection.
Yes. But the late 80s.
The 80s, they were
kind of just stagnant.
Stagnant, exactly. So it was an interesting time, and that's kind of when the best stuff came out, which is funny.
True, yeah.
So Killing Joke was pretty faithful rendition. It was pretty much identical to the book.
Now, this movie kind of got mixed reviews. Now,
I thought it was brilliant.
You thought it was brilliant because...
And I saw it in the movie theater, which was a one-day release.
It was a one-day release. Yeah, I missed it.
Not only was it so well received, when the movie was over, people were clapping in the movie theater.
Oh, that's cool. I know, that's always useless because who are you clapping to? But at least it signifies that everybody enjoyed it.
I wore a Joker shirt, and I must have seen 30 to 40 articles of Joker clothing, one way or another.
Definitely. Because the diehards are going that the one day.
It was a Monday night. It was raining.
Was that the one in the city, or you?
I saw it at Staten Island Stadium.
Oh, good. It was actually showing.
They actually
I was busy that night.
They sold at such a strong response. They made 2 showings. They had one, and they added another one the same day. It was like a 7:30 and a 10 p.m. or something. Right. But no, it was awesome. I thought it was great, great. It was very faithful to the
original graphic novel.
Well, also the voices. Mark Hamill
that
reprised the role.
Big thing about it. Now, Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy both reprised their voices, even though the animation wasn't the same as the Batman animated series animation from the 90s. If anybody watched that show, it was a great
everyone
classic. Everybody did.
If people don't know who Kevin Conroy is, he did the original voice of the Batman animated series.
He did the original voice of Batman on the TV show.
Alfred! He would always video games and...
In the video games and everything.
When I think of Batman, and that's not live action, I think of this voice.
Absolutely.
It is the most respected, renowned Batman voice.
The Joker, Mark Hamill voice.
They go hand in hand.
They go hand in hand. So
and Mark Hamill even said he wasn't going to do it unless Conroy signed on.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense.
That was kind of his like, all right, I'll do it if you do him, because we're either going to do it fully or not.
We're not doing this half-assed. Yeah,
and Conroy's he was kind of picky, but he's like, I'll do it.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a fickle guy. In fact, I heard him on the Kevin Smith Batman on Fat Man on Batman.
Fat Man on Batman. Yeah. I haven't heard in a while, but some of them are good. Some of them are a little.
Yeah, I listened to I listened to all of them one day. The Mark Hamill one, he had him on, and then he had
the Mark Hamill's one of the best ones.
Yeah,
it's the highest. I think it's the highest rated one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And but the Kevin Conroy one was good because he went on about his life and about how he wanted to be in theater and all that. And he went to Juilliard, and he was like a smart guy. You know?
Well, this is the thing. He was very classically trained.
Very classically trained.
And he never he
took it seriously.
Yeah. Never in a million years that he thought he'd be known for a Batman voice. Because he's studying Shakespeare and all that shit.
Exactly, because he's like a serious guy with all that, and like he just turned into Batman, you know. And he accepts it now, but that's not where he thought he would.
You know what a similar kind of upbringing as far as their careers were concerned was Ian McKellen, a super renowned Shakespeare guy.
Yeah, you know, like
and he's British too.
Like
he starts his whole career
stage actor, and now he's known as.
And when he passes away, he'll be forever known as Gandalf.
Yeah,
and then secondary Magneto. But Gandalf is his most iconic role that he's ever had.
You think so? More iconic than Magneto?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because Magneto, you're a villain in a
Charles always said we should build bridges.
You're a villain in a middle-range franchise, whereas Lord of the Rings is something bigger than X-Men, in my opinion.
Yeah, I guess it is.
And Gandalf is such a very iconic. Sure. He's the wizard character of folklore, you know. Sure. So, and he mastered it. He did
it great. It was perfect.
Even the Hobbit movies, which are mixed, and I would say, not
as
good as the original Peter Jackson's.
Definitely not.
He was the only reason worth watching those Hobbit movies.
Yeah, for sure.
And for his age, being late 70s, however old
kicking.
he is.
Had one foot in the grave.
He's a knight, by the way. He's knighted by the Queen.
Sure, naturally.
I think Patrick Stewart is too, actually.
Yeah, I would assume so. Like, a lot of guys like that are knighted. Let's see if Patrick Stewart is knighted. Oh, Patrick Stewart. He's a funny guy around. Yeah, he's knighted.
See, it's funny as Xavier and Magneto, they're knighted. That's great. You know? And that's good casting.
They're good friends, too.
The one thing X-Men did right is the Magneto Xaviers. The originals were great. Mm-hmm. The new ones are great.
Sure.
You know, Apocalypse, not great, but you can't nitpick at this point.
No, absolutely not. But, so the Killing Joke, Sean enjoyed it, even though it
and I'm faithful to the books. I liked it a lot. People were pissed. This is a huge spoiler, so I'm not going to say it. Yeah. In the beginning, there's 2 acts in the movie.
Now, it doesn't have a great review on Rotten Tomatoes.
There's 2 acts in the movie, okay? The first act, the second act is the Killing Joke of the book, pretty much page to page.
Right.
The first act is Batman and Batgirl, and they explore their relationship.
Right.
And,
Batgirl being Barbara
Gordon.
Yeah.
Yes, Commissioner
Gordon's daughter.
And there's a big event that happens in that people were kind of took a guard. I was shocked that it happened. And that's why people were complaining, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not. These are really big spoilers, so.
Yeah, don't know, because I haven't even seen it yet, so you don't have to spoil it for me.
People were kind of pissed about the Act 1 Batgirl scene.
Yeah.
Batgirl.
Would you say it's Die Hard's getting pissed about that because it wasn't faithful to the book?
Let me just say, it was very unexpected, the events that unfolded.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't in the book, the Act 1. The second act was entirely the book. The first act was kind of a backstory of Batgirl.
Sure.
She has a big... Her character, Barbara Gordon, has this very big event in comic history happens in Killing Joke regarding her, with the Joker does something to her. So that's why they kind of explored her a little bit in Act 1. I mean, people were upset of some events that unfolded.
Sure. Okay, so all in all, though, you were satisfied with it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to tie that in...
What would you give that out of 5?
I'd say 3.5. A solid 75.
Yeah, it's pretty much... Well, it's about 70% would be 3.
I would give it 75.
Okay, so 3.75.
It was good.
It was very good. Not bad. Okay, I guess for those of us that haven't seen it, we should go out and see it.
So tie that in, DC Joker, Suicide Squad.
Okay, we'll go into Suicide Squad. Now, which I had just saw, and now, it was going to be that was supposed to be the big DC movie of the year, right? Aside from Batman v Superman?
Correct. Those are their 2 marquee big boys, yes.
aside from Doctor Strange is Marvel, right?
Marvel, and I think that comes out in the fall.
So that doesn't count. But so we got Suicide Squad. The DC fanboys, really looking forward to this one. Sean,
myself included.
DC fanboy. So I saw it last night. I was a little late on it, but I saw it. So Sean, what'd you think of it?
So I saw it opening night.
Okay.
There's people wearing Harley Quinn outfits.
Naturally.
But not nowhere near Margot Robbie. The Harley Quinns I saw were like
the original Harley Quinn. Now they did have a flashback shot in the movie. Now I don't think this is a spoiler. Where she's dancing with the Joker and she's wearing the Harley Quinn outfit. Do you remember that? There's a shot in the movie where she's wearing the classic Harley Quinn outfit with the hat.
Yeah, like the latex suit.
Yeah, the red and the Harley Quinn outfit.
The original.
Yeah, the original suit. There's like a little flashback shot of her dancing with the Joker, and he's wearing like a tuxedo, and she's wearing that. There is a classic painting or picture that somebody drew of the Joker and Harley Quinn, and that's supposed to mimic that. But so, what'd you think of the movie, Sean?
All right, so going in, these reviews are just trashing it, and I actually, I don't know if I sent it to you or my other friends, but I read something online where there's, I think it was on either Reddit or Gawker, one of those websites, where there's a whole article that Rotten Tomatoes conspiring against DC cinema.
But that don't make no sense.
They're conspiring against it. And I read it and I laughed because I'm like, Rotten Tomatoes hates DC movies. They do.
Yeah, but Rotten Tomatoes isn't. Rotten Tomatoes owned by Warner Brothers?
Where do they give Avengers to, for example? I just want to know because I thought that movie was very fucking marginal, and critics are like.
And now that's good that you bring up a point. That you bring up Avengers 2. Avengers 2 got 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That movie I thought was in the 60 range. It was okay. The story was poor. They butchered Ultron from the comics story, which was way better. And, there's poor use of a lot of the characters, and it was stupid. Ultron was just terrible.
Okay, that being said, now with that little article you read, who owns DC?
It's Warner Brothers.
And who owns Rotten Tomatoes? Warner Brothers.
Rotten Tomatoes
Warner Brothers is owned by Rotten Tomatoes.
It's sort of a YouTube type company where it exists from user content.
No. But the people that write it are accredited movie reviewers. And if Rotten Tomatoes
because you as a hobby write on it as well, so you feel more of a community aspect to it, and the DC bash is evident. It's obvious. It's evident.
But
people
that's
notice.
Just maybe because there's more Marvel fans than there are DC fans.
Oh, without a doubt.
But what are you gonna do? That's it. So that means that again, film is an art. It's subjective, and there's just more people that like this different form of art. Now, do I agree that this movie deserves a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes? Because that's what it's got. It's got 26%.
That's unorthodox to me.
I agree. I don't think the movie deserves a fucking 26% at any point.
There's some conspiring.
Now, and I'm not a huge...
Collusion. The word is collusion, okay?
You're really going to do conspiracy? If there was a real conspiracy, Warner Brothers would delete the bullshit reviews that they thought was bringing it down.
Collusion.
All right, well, whatever, collusion or not, I think that's bullshit. But do I think the movie deserves a 26% on Rotten Tomatoes? No. I think the movie was just as good as Avengers 2. That's why you brought it up, and that's funny because when I left the theater, I was like, was that movie great? No. Do I think it was as good as Civil War, which wasn't amazing? No. But I do feel like it was better than Avengers 2.
Civil War was more polished, I would agree.
Civil War is a better movie than Suicide Squad.
It was
Civil
more polished.
War is not that great, in my opinion. It's good. It's not
I'll
amazing.
talk about the highlights of Suicide Squad and the negatives. Okay, the highlights, Margot Robbie.
Spoilers here? No spoilers?
We'll try to be spoiler free. Just came out.
Try to be spoiler free. We'll keep any of
Alright,
the details.
so highlights: Margot Robbie.
Okay.
She would induce fear boners. Just completely.
She was good.
She was
like the lead in the movie. She had the most air.
she was beautiful, awesome.
Sure, she was fine as Harley Quinn. Totally fine.
She did a great job.
She did a good job. It reminded me of her in the.
As my friends mentioned, fear boners. It's great. The Joker, very hyped. Issue with it: he's in the movie 15-20 minutes.
But I was expecting that because he's not a Suicide Squad character. He's a side character in this movie. So I didn't expect you to
plot.
He had to be in there because Harley Quinn's in there. You can't have Harley Quinn in a movie without the Joker. It's ridiculous. People be like, what?
Where is he?
Where's Joker?
And so his plot, his his appearance had nothing to do with the plot.
Mm.
If you think about it, according to as a movie flow, all the events that he was in had nothing to do with the actual end of the story.
No, they just fed him. They just shoehorned him in there, but you had to. Anyway.
The highlight, I mean, he had some cool scenes. I think the coolest scene in my book, or in my opinion, was when he hijacks the helicopter.
That's good. Yeah,
it was awesome.
He was wearing his tuxedo as the way he showed it.
Up.
I didn't really like that style, though, that gangster style with the fronts. I was like,
No, he looked cool when he was shirtless and he had the purple trench coat.
Yeah, I like that.
And he goes, I think he goes into some government facility.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me in with his thugs. And they're like, fuck off.
Was that the beginning? The beginning of the movie?
Mildly the beginning.
Yeah.
And he gets like an iPad out of his pocket. And he shows the guy that's doing the security door. It's his wife.
Right.
With like a knife to her throat. And he has like the FaceTime feed where he's like, you see this?
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So you can see the power of what Jared Leto can do with the character.
Yeah. Now, can we compare it to the other Jokers?
They're all different versions.
Are there better versions?
Heath Ledger right now is the pinnacle.
Yeah. Second for me is Jack. I'm not gonna count Mark Hamill in this though.
No, these are
these
are actually acted.
That being said, he's the weakest of the three.
You haven't seen enough of him.
All right,
It's fair. He was on the screen for about between 15 and 20. Let's say 17 minutes. That was his entire appearance in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was more than that.
He was in 3 or 4 scenes.
He had a couple scenes with her.
3 or 4
flashback
scenes for about 3 or 4 minutes.
The club scene. The driving away in the car scene, the hijacked helicopter scene.
He's with like the black gangster. He was a famous rapper. I didn't know that.
Isn't that Common?
Common.
I didn't recognize that.
I'm not too versed in rap.
Just because they put mad fake tattoos on his face, But I was like, is that him?
He looked vaguely familiar,
I know,
but I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
I'm like, I
know
recognize that face, but I couldn't put it together.
Yeah. Because he's like, chill. I don't want no beef. That's your wifey. But. So, did I think Jared Leto's Joker was bad? No, I didn't think it was bad.
He did not do a bad job.
He did a good job, but not as good as...
This is the problem with taking that role. It's not for everybody, and it's so much hype and build-up that if you do a shitty, you'll be ostracized forever.
But he's not getting ostracized because he didn't do it shitty. But the other guys were better.
They played different versions of that character.
I understand that, but those versions were better.
No. Heath Ledger in my book will always be the best Joker.
That was great.
He played an anarchist terrorist.
That was great.
It was unbelievable.
I want to make him talk. Whatever he says in the movie. Dark Knight's good.
I had fucking goosebumps when I first saw that. That's when
gem right there. You don't realize it when you watch it the first time. When I watched the movie when it came out,
my Joker obsession.
It's a gem.
That's when I fell in love with the Joker. Was I saw that movie? No, as soon as I saw it was good.
Here we go. It's good stuff. But so Jared Leto's was good.
Yes,
I'll totally.
I'm excited to see
with him. And again, are they going to do a full?
Well, Affleck said he wants to do
because Affleck had his cameo.
This cameo. I was disappointed with Batman. The cooler one was the car chase. The Will Smith Batman cameo was fucking lame. Right. Where alley and it's snow and there's a little black daughter and it's like, all right. Well, this is kind of lame.
It's all right. What are you?
The car chase was cool though.
Yeah, you had to.
And in true Joker form, the helicopter crashes, disappears.
Right.
There's no ending spoilers, but that he wasn't really relative to this plot anyway. His purple Maserati, whatever the hell it was, Lamborghini. They do a car chase, the Batmobile and the Joker's purple speedster. Totals gets into like the fucking lake or Hudson, whatever the fuck it was, giant body of water.
Sure.
Batman goes in. He saves Harley Quinn. Mm-hmm. Joker's always nowhere to be found.
Joker's nowhere to be found, sure.
And even in the comics, it's like clockwork. Any disaster of vehicles, destruction,
Joker
death,
splits, yeah.
he just dips.
He just dips. He just disappears.
Never dies.
Joker thing. He just runs
doesn't breaks anything.
No.
The helicopter's destroyed.
Yeah.
And then there was filming of him like showing up with like burns on his face from the helicopter.
Oh yeah.
And they cut it out.
Oh, did that?
Okay.
Yeah, better off to cut it out. Keep it.
You see a picture. A picture was leaked of him in that. Suppose the end battle scene. He kind of shows up out of the blue and like, shoots some people, what have you, and you see all burns on him. Mm-hmm. That's from the helicopter, but
Now, what'd you think overall of the plot of this movie? Paper thin?
It was a little erratic. It was going back and forth, and some things were unnecessary.
Scatterbrains.
Yes.
What'd you think of it felt like a music video with all these different pop songs? That didn't bother me as much as some critics.
I liked it because there were good songs. There were classic songs.
Is this the real life? Is this
But like
fantasy?
they're playing all these.
They did Queen. They did.
I can't remember.
They did so many. They did.
Even the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, since the beginning.
They had like that Mad TV guy. He
Yeah.
was like the head prison
He's the
warden.
prison guard. I recognize him.
I don't know his name,
Forget his name.
but I recognize it from Mad TV.
Yeah.
And he was like the dude.
The newer Mad TV, not the '90s Mad TV.
He was like the douchebag, like head of the prison.
Yeah. What's his name? Oh, Ike Barinholtz.
He was in the league. He's in a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
He's like kind of funny guy. I don't mind
funny.
him.
He was good on the show. I'm looking at all these old Mad TV faces: Michael McDonald, Will Sasso, Mo
Just a
Collins.
quick Mad TV segue. Key and Peele, which are pretty huge now.
Naturally. Jake Wellen. Hey, Aaron.
They met.
That's been going around again.
Oh yeah, Aaron, love it.
I love that.
They met on the Mad TV set, and initially
They didn't like each
they were
other.
up for the same role.
Oh, okay.
So the casting was like, we need a funny black guy.
Yeah, one funny black guy.
And then they both of them were up for the one funny black guy.
Right.
And then they were like, they're both great. Like, let's just do
Take
both
both,
of them.
yeah.
Like, should we do it? They're like, fuck it, we'll do it. They're funny guys.
Yeah.
And that's how they met. They
Oh.
both got. They were supposed to be one of them, but they were
They
up for
both
the
were
same
close.
role, and they were so great that they put them on the show.
Yeah, they're funny.
And that's how they met each other, was on the set of Mad TV.
Yeah,
and now they're like iconic, huge.
Yeah.
They're fun. I enjoy them. They're funny.
I like them, Joe. That skit is my favorite.
They have some great skits,
They
though.
have some
They
great
really do.
skits, they
But
do.
back to we'll finish up Suicide
finish up
Squad.
Suicide Squad here.
I liked it. I
liked
thought it
it.
was very good.
I'm not a DC fanboy by any stretch. I
It-
thought it was totally acceptable as a movie, as a popcorn movie. Was the plot a little messy?
Yes.
Yeah, but it was fun to watch. I wasn't bored. I liked the characters as paper thin as they were. The plot is thin. I think the strongest character in the movie is Deadshot. Will Smith is Deadshot.
He did a good job.
Yeah.
So
And what about
In a
El
quick-
Diablo? What's his name?
that was stupid and
Like him
absurd.
burning everything.
I also didn't get make sense. Is like they show a flashback of him with his family, like hot Spanish wife,
Oh, yeah,
and he's
yeah,
with the
yeah.
kids, like
Once
eating
he
cereal.
incinerates them.
No, but it's like, how do you have this hot wife and family life and you have tattoos all over your face?
Hey, bro, half the characters in this movie had tattoos on their face. All right, so it's
Not to that extent.
Oh, what? Common's rapper character had
They
it.
don't show him eating cereal with his kids and talking to his
Hey,
wife.
This is 2016, Sean. Not everybody who has got tattoos on their face is a low-life degenerate convict.
It just didn't make sense.
Although he is.
Like, he has his family life. Yeah, I'm sure he does.
He he got his wifey and his kids. And, what about Harley Quinn's flashback to what she wanted? Like
a normal life.
Yeah, normal
like,
life. Yeah, I was rolling my eyes because I was like, would that really be what Harley Quinn wants? Isn't she insane? I guess maybe Harlan Quinzel would want
yes,
that.
Harley Quinzel.
Harley Quinzel, the actual,
she was a
therapist,
highlight of the
normal
movie.
person. Yeah. Well, she's like the main character, and all the other extra characters. What about Killer Croc? Did you like him?
I felt like they should have more CGI'd him.
that girl.
They should have more CGI'd him.
More CGI? I don't think anybody's gonna be agreeing with you there.
Because he
more
just
CGI
for Croc.
We need more CGI.
For Croc,
Yeah.
yes, for Croc.
He was alright. I mean, I know that villain from Batman, the TV show.
Because
so.
he's
Speaking of which, I was at Six Flags yesterday. I went on the new Joker ride that they have there at Six Flags Great Adventure, New Jersey.
I've been wanting to go.
He's alright. It's like 10 seconds. It's a real quick ride.
don't want to go.
Well, get yourself
So
ready.
on a final note, Suicide Squad. Yeah, it's the DC version of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
And Guardians is a stronger story.
Mhm,
Even in
definitely,
comics, it's
definitely.
stronger. The movie was better done.
Yeah.
But it's their version of this.
I was just as entertained watching this, although Guardians might be a little better. So what are you going to give it out of 5 for Suicide Squad here?
I would give it a 3. Solid 3.
I'll totally give it a 3. Even a 3.25 I'll give it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's really not bad. It does not deserve a 26%.
Listen, if you haven't seen it out there,
go see it. It's totally worth it. Out of all the movies we
not
just
bad.
talked about, Ghostbusters,
it was the best of the 3.
it was the best of those. Now, there is another movie I saw that Sean didn't see, Star Trek Beyond.
Got rave reviews.
And that's good. That's totally good. Now,
I like the first two. And
and this one's might be better than those.
this is kind of the first time I dipped my toes in the Star Trek water with these movies.
Yeah, well, no, I watched the Next Generation as a kid.
I watched it a
watch
little
Deep
bit.
Space Nine or any of that.
The Patrick Stewart's the only one I watched a little bit.
Well, that's
and they had
Next
the guy
Generation.
from Reading Rainbow. He had like the black guy. He was like blind or something.
What's his name? Well, he's Geordie LaForge on the show, but
That's Reading Rainbow. You know who he is.
yeah, it was the black guy from Reading Rainbow. What's his name?
It's like I can't do anything. That fucking shit.
LeVar Burton. He plays
LeVar
Geordie
Burton,
LaForge.
yeah.
He's good on that. But that show was really fun in the 90s. And I was like a little kid, and that was like still sci-fi. Because these new movies are really more action movies than they are sci-fi. And The Next Generation was still slow-moving sci-fi. But I still enjoyed that show. It had good stories, good characters. It was totally worth watching.
That's another.
I even delved into the original show. I didn't really watch the
That's
the
another character.
70s Star Trek movie.
He's very similar. The Shatner ones.
Yeah, I didn't really watch those.
I seen him on Netflix.
I've seen them. I've seen the first 3.
The one with Spock dies is like pretty iconic. I think
Khan. That's
Khan's
Khan.
Revenge, Wrath of Khan.
Khan's Revenge. Wrath of Khan. Yeah, it's the second one. That's considered the best one, and even that movie's okay.
I mean, it's still 80s, and it's not Star Wars 80s where it's.
Yeah. No. Well, remember that's still sci-fi. It's not like Star Wars is science space fantasy, so it's more action involved and more drama involved with characters.
We gotta realize Star Trek is created by Gene Roddenberry, which was very iconic science fiction
He's
writer.
done so much. Land of the Lost. He did
Gene
Star Trek.
Roddenberry is like he passed away maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago. Maybe early 90s.
Passed around the time of the Star Wars prequels, because I know him and George Lucas did meet at least once. But he was a good guy.
When did he pass away? It had to be the last
late
30 years.
91.
Okay, I was right. Early 90s.
Yeah, because I knew he met George Lucas once. Him and because they obviously the two creators.
In the world of science
Star Wars
fiction,
and Star Trek.
he's an icon and a half, obviously.
Yeah.
He created some other stuff too.
Andromeda, the show Land of the Lost, and I guess the book that goes with it. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Land of the Lost of the Danger, Will Robinson.
No, that's Lost in
Space.
Okay.
Land of the Lost with dinosaurs and stuff.
Yes, he created that, or because I remember that show would come on. It was like, from the mind of Gene Roddenberry. It was like, oh, Gene Roddenberry. I know his name from Star Trek. So he wrote a lot of stuff. He was what else did he do? He's made a lot of stuff. He's very iconic and very popular and a decent guy. Any of the interviews I saw him with, he was pretty decent. He wasn't an asshole. Knew his stuff, and that's it. So, but Star Trek Beyond might be, in my opinion, the best of the new 3. When did the first one came out in 2009? That's obviously J.J. Abrams. That's got a really good review on Rotten Tomatoes. It's got 95%.
That's the only one I actually saw in the theaters. The first one.
Second one
I saw.
I watched that.
Second one I seen on.
I didn't see either in theaters. You saw, but I saw them both on Netflix or whatever. And what was the second one called again? It was
Into the Dark, I believe.
Star Trek Into
I thought it was also well done.
I watched that. It was alright, but they did the Khan thing. It was kind of like referencing that. And that's got a still good review on Rotten Tomatoes too.
Let's stick to the two biggest characters will always be Kirk and Spock.
Naturally, so you got to put the forefront for the mainstream.
They
audience.
were casted well. Spock did. He has the Nimoy look.
He does. Zachary Quinto from Heroes.
I think Leonard Nimoy was half Asian, if I'm correct.
I know he's Jewish. I don't know if he's half Asian. He's like I think he's like Eastern European. I mean, he might have Asian in his blood, but I'm pretty sure he's Eastern.
Did you ever see his show In Search Of? It was like
I saw like an episode.
70s, 80s show. It kind of had like these. It was
kind
of
like he's Jewish, Eastern European.
In Search Of was a precursor to like Ancient Aliens.
He's Ukrainian Polish. But he probably might. He does look a little Asian, so maybe he has Asian.
So In Search Of was a precursor to Ancient Aliens. We had all these weird topics.
Ancient Aliens is an alright show.
I remember watching when I was Bigfoot, and they show the Patterson footage. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Oh, what the classic?
It's from California. Guys on a horse, and he's in the jungle. It's a grainy film from 1960 something.
Oh, is that so that's not the classic one that I'm thinking of. Where
no, he turns around. Yeah,
the ones where he's walking sideways.
Yeah, it's
arms like that.
Allegedly taken in California in the 1960s.
Okay,
it's called the Patterson footage.
Yeah. Let me say. Yeah, it's the classic Bigfoot
Yeah,
tape.
that's the tape.
That's the tape. When you think of Bigfoot, and he's got his arm, one arm in front, the other
like
arm in
the
back.
shit you see on TV now,
Yeah.
it's garbage.
No.
But that, when I first saw that, I was like, what the fuck? You know, I saw it like 10
I'm
years.
looking at it now.
It still stands to this day. If you watch it, you still get fucking. You're like, what? That does not look human by any. You know.
I can't tell.
The footage is so great as to the allure of it, you know?
Yeah, the fact that it's grainy and gritty.
It's from the 60s and a handheld camera and a guy's on a horse.
The top comment on this YouTube video is somebody quotes Joe Rogan. It's a guy in a monkey suit. Known hoax. The man in the suit passed the lie detector. Well, who the fuck knows? Yeah.
Listen,
Things
it's
been going on for 40 years. They can't find this damn Bigfoot. It's friggin' after 50 years.
I think we're not going on to cryptozoology now.
No, this is not a cryptozoology podcast.
But
we could start one.
It definitely is interesting.
Oh, for sure. That's funny. But
Alright, so we'll
so
have
all in
one
all,
last.
Star Trek Beyond was good. That was also if you're a fan of Star Trek, definitely go see it. If you like these newer ones, definitely go see it.
I've heard rave reviews. I want to see it.
So that and Suicide Squad, I do recommend.
So we'll finish up with
We'll
Netflix Phenomenon. Just awesome show.
Sure.
I heard about it through friends, and let me see what this is about. I'll watch the first episode. I was skeptical because a lot of Netflix exclusive content have its shit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially this Adam Sandler sort of fascination they have. They just like to give him money, and a lot of idiots just enjoy
huge
him.
amounts of money on that stupid cowboy movie. The
They
ridiculous.
said it's like the highest rated thing they had.
It's like the highest rated Netflix movie ever.
I don't know if this is.
Kill yourselves, people.
Who's
Come on,
watching it?
What's wrong with you guys?
He's getting more and more money because people watch his
It's
shit.
insane. Anybody who watched that movie, I gotta ask why. He hasn't been good since the 90s, man.
He's got off
Junk. Junk.
It's just shit.
Jack and Jill. Watch Jack and Jill, and then tell me
So
if
not only
Ridiculous
is
Six
it
is good.
Hateful Eight cowboy movie. They
Yeah.
said he's so good. Let me make a movie with him with the guns and David Spade.
Well, the movie's called Ridiculous Six, not Hateful Eight. We're not talking about the Quentin Tarantino movie, which was
Whatever.
good. Whatever. Yeah, it was
They gave
Ridiculous Six.
another movie with David Spade and he has guns. And this is after.
Kill us now.
And he's getting a movie every year. He comes out a new movie.
New schlock. It's
and
absurd.
he's getting millions upon millions of dollars. I don't understand.
I don't.
So with that in mind, I'm like, oh, Netflix original. This is gonna be shit.
Well, there's other good Netflix originals.
There's
House
some
of
documentaries
Cards,
and stuff.
Good documentaries and stuff.
So what we're bringing
I've
up
been
is
binging Lost right now, but that's another story.
what we're bringing up is Stranger Things.
Yes, of course, Stranger Things, and I'm sure if you're anywhere in the world of this kind of stuff, you've heard of Stranger
You haven't
Things.
been in a cave. You've
Yeah,
a coworker, a neighbor, someone's told you about this.
Been talking about it. Stranger Things now. It's really good. It's 8 episodes. It's not committal.
It's about 8 1-hour episodes.
They've already greenlit a second season. Now we don't
and
know
it's
if
supposed to be a sequel.
Yes, it's not going to be an anthology. They're going to
not a prequel.
sequel, which I'm a little nervous about.
Same
actually.
characters.
Same
Maybe a couple years later. Who knows?
But which I'm a little nervous about. I think that story's kind of done. Just do an anthology, in my opinion.
I don't think it's done though. Because so I don't think it's done.
Spoiler free. We'll have to do spoiler free here.
Just the character 11, I think, is very impactful.
Yeah. Now 11 is the girl on the show. Now it's essentially, now we can explain what it is. It's a show by these guys, the Duffer Brothers. They've done some other stuff. Now it's very much.
So
it's based in the 80s. It's very much.
It's based in 1983 Indiana.
It's very much in the style of 80s movies. Then Spielberg, Stephen King, all that stuff is gonna bring back these memories.
It's very Spielberg-esque. Like
very Spielberg.
E.T.,
Jaws, all those feelings
you got
throw
these
in there.
Pack of kids on an adventure.
Yeah, little kids on an adventure, and very sci-fi,
super
mysterious,
sci-fi.
horror mix.
You got government agents.
Yes.
You got
government. You got
a monster. You got a monster. You got government agents. You got a. So the
and
focus of the story is
the Goonies. It feels like the Goonies too, because all the little kids and they're all smart asses, and they curse like they used to curse. Kids used to curse in the 80s. Shut up, you asshole! Kids used to do that in the 80s movies. Quiet penis breath. From E.T.
Well, I just sounded like Simpsons, obviously, but
yeah, I can use
like
my
the movie
Simpson voices.
literally, the show starts with them playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah,
that's
well,
the
that right
first
there. But just
episode, first scene. They're playing
D&D.
Dungeons and
But
Dragons.
that should explain to you where we are now in the show. They're playing D&D. It's the early 80s. I mean, that's exactly how E.T. started with that movie. With the first scene, you see the kids, they're playing D&D.
Really? I haven't seen. I don't even remember that.
I've been watching E.T. a lot
Did you ever
lately.
play D&D?
Yeah, I played a few times right around 2000.
I played
I haven't played
similar era, not with you. I played it very early 2000s.
Yeah, I played it with like our friend Dave Holman and a few others.
I had a cousin and I had a neighbor that played
fun,
it.
You know, definitely for an older time because it's all imagination. You know.
Yeah, you need someone that doesn't play the game to dictate the game.
Yeah, exactly. Which you have to.
Which takes someone that wants to do that.
Yeah, like because who wants to do that?
But I played it maybe 4 or 5 times. I'm 10 years old, and I fucking thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I liked
cool.
it.
You know, you're rolling the dice, and
we were like the young,
and the
we
dungeon
were like
master.
Probably the last people to play. Like people playing not to be grown up in that 80s time frame. We were babies.
Yeah, we're probably the last generation to play Dungeons and Dragons. You know, because it's
with
just
this technology.
Pieces of because it's just there's pieces of paper,
figurines and dice.
Each had a figurine. You know, whether you were a paladin or whatever, or
rogue, a thief, a mage.
Exactly. And then you go on a little adventure, and then the dungeon master, which is just another one of your friends, tells you what to do. All right, if you make a left, go here, you know, and then he flips the dice. And it was a dragon, and you die.
And there's stories like you rescue a prince, you have to find his
go
lost
through,
treasure.
Yeah, you have to go in a cave, and there might be something bad in there. Or
trolls, pirates.
Yeah, trolls, pirates, orcs, ogres, and then, we need the sword, and it might be in this cave. But if the dungeon master rolls a 10 or under, there's a dragon in there, and you die.
Trap, or poison.
Exactly. It's always,
cool, very cool premise.
Cool idea, definitely great for the 70s and 80s, but nowadays these kids with their, iPads and their MacBooks and their iPhones.
You can't show a 7-year-old, hey, you want to play this game with your old dice? And there's
no imagination.
Like, dice.
Yeah, dice. They don't even like regular toys. They just like iPads now.
Absolutely not. Hey.
But so that's how the show starts. It's very good. Definitely go see it. It very much, if you like Steven Spielberg movies, it's got this 80s synth
and speaking of
soundtrack,
80s, one of the
score.
Bigger stars of the show is Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder is the mom of one of the children. We won't divulge even what child it is.
But she's and she was a big figure of the 80s. Huge.
Yeah, late 80s and early 90s.
Beetlejuice, bunch of movies.
Those movies at that time period.
It's not that she didn't age well. I think they made her look disheveled for the role.
Because
she's not bad looking, obviously.
No,
Winona Ryder.
She's still she's like in distress, so she's like.
Let's give her like a bad haircut. Yeah, she's stressed out.
Like she's just like constantly crying in the movie with bags under her eyes because she's distressed.
The sheriff was also pretty cool.
The sheriff was cool. He's badass. He's kind of had like an Indiana Jones feel to him.
The girl with supernatural powers, she did a very good job. She did a great
job. Yeah, the girl that plays 11.
Limited lines, but her acting was very impactful.
Yeah, the acting was what was solid.
And honestly, that band of kids,
No, the band of kids were good. They were just like kids from the Goonies. I mean,
they were like, honestly, Stranger Things, best Netflix show I've seen, and best show I've seen in a while.
Yeah,
regardless.
TV right now, or TV shows are great right now. They're kicking.
Stranger Things, in my opinion, something new, something different.
It's fresh. Well, it's
not a rehash,
but it's something.
But it's not a rehash. It's a brand new story.
It's a brand new story, but very much calls upon what we've seen before.
Into classic vibes of a different era.
Sure. Well, because it wants to invoke that kind of. Not even really 80s nostalgia, more like 80s movie nostalgia. Like
it takes a lot of elements from that.
It takes all it's taking all these elements that you've seen from Spielberg movies, particularly E.T., particularly Jaws, particularly the Goonies, and even Stephen King. The kind of Stephen King horror-esque part of it is splashed in there. Yeah, Poltergeist, very much
the monster. Because
there's like
no spoilers, but the monster, deviant.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Because you don't even know what it is. I watched the entire shit. I still don't know what that was.
Well, they gave him a name. The Demogorgon.
Yeah, and Demogorgon, which was a Dungeons & Dragons monster.
Oh, yeah.
So they just kind of gave
they gave him that
That's
name.
Where it came from.
Oh, okay.
It was a Dungeons & Dragons known monster.
Okay.
So that's where they said Demogorgon or something when
they
were playing the game.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they
that
named the monster after the Dungeons & Dragons shit.
Mm-hmm.
But this monster is, pretty intimidating. It's scary looking.
Oh, sure.
You don't even know exactly what it is.
No, or it's in the just like that, and that's why I bring up Jaws, because you don't see too much of it. You don't know what it is. It just like in Jaws, you didn't see the shark too much, and as Steven Spielberg says, it's what we don't see that is what's truly frightening. So that part will give you a little fright, a little terror. So definitely go see that. That's definitely a must see.
Top 5 show I've seen, I'd give it 90-95%.
Yeah, it totally gets like.
It deserves like 4.5 to 5 stars.
4.5 stars. 4.75.
You can't give anything a 5-star rating.
No, unless it's flawless.
I would literally go out of your way to
Empire Strikes Back or The Godfather.
Go out of your way to see Stranger Things.
Totally. If you don't have
really
Netflix,
awesome.
get a free month trial and go check it out.
So we're gonna cap this off.
We'll cap it off with some junk food tie-ins right here.
So you got some Ghostbuster Twinkies here from the movie time.
The Ghostbuster Twinkies from the movie. We have now. They made the slime green Twinkies.
So there's a Slimer version and there's a Stay Puft Marshmallow version.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow version. They got the Slimer version's it's a regular Twinkie with just key lime green filling on the inside. So you might not like that. A lot of people, ooh, key lime.
Key lime's hit or miss. If I'm in the South, I'll eat it.
Sure, I'll have a key lime pie. And then the other Twinkie is actually a chocodile. I don't know if you know what a chocodile is.
I'm not familiar.
But they're just Hostess covered Twinkies. They just cover them with like a chocolate or.
For those that don't know, Ghostbusters 1 had a big Twinkie scene in the movie.
Yeah, the Egon Harold Ramis picks up the Twinkie and says, if this Twinkie represents normal paranormal activity, it'd be a Twinkie, 16 feet long and approximately 500 pounds or something.
So that's why they always do the Twinkie tie fits in with it.
Fits in very nicely.
Just a little Ghostbuster fact there.
So they got the key lime green would be like the Slimer one, and they also made a chocodile, which is just a Twinkie anyway. It's a chocolate or chocolate covered Twinkie, but this one's covered in white chocolate and on top of it has a marshmallow layer. So it's very much for the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So those were the two Twinkie tie-ins, along with many other tie-ins. I had a yogurt here that had a Ghostbusters.
So I looked for these tie-ins. I've seen them online. We'll give a shout out to Dinosaur Dracula.
So Dinosaur Dracula is definitely on his game when it comes to
like
junk
him on
food
Facebook.
Like that.
It's fellow Staten Islander. It's good stuff.
He knows his stuff.
So I looked for these products in the stores and never seen them.
Yeah, I had to buy them on eBay.
So what did you pay for 2 boxes of?
I paid 15.
Ghostbusters exclusive.
I also have some. I've been going crazy with the random junk food. I had these Fruity Pebble. They're called Fruity Crisp Oreos. Now these are really good. These might be one of the best Oreos I've ever had. I had the cinnamon bun Oreos.
Let's try these diabetic treats here.
Let's try some of these right now.
All right. So this is the key lime.
That's the key lime key lime Twinkie. Key lime slime. It's just green Twinkie. Have some of that. Don't have all of it. Just we'll split it.
Yeah.
I don't want this whole fucking thing either anyway.
I'm just looking at the interior. It's like
now we're looking at it.
It literally looks like avocado dessert.
It looks like avocado.
It's like I'm eating a guacamole fucking cake.
Twinkie. All right, go in. It smells like a regular Twinkie for the most part. What do you think?
Tastes pretty much like a normal Twinkie.
Yeah, I feel like these might be a little old now.
There's a slight lime taste.
It's a very light hint of the key lime.
There's no key. It's just a lime Twinkie.
Just a lime sprints in it, yeah. So very standard, actually.
It didn't seem that fresh, to be honest. Either it didn't seem that fresh.
Been around my house for a month.
Let's try. This is the Slimer one we just had. So now it's the Stay Puft one.
Here's the Stay Puft one.
They're more marshmallow flavored.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is more of a chocodile than it is a Twinkie, even though they call it Twinkie. Which is just it's covered already in white chocolate, and then it's got a marshmallow cream filling and a marshmallow
so this is definitely not your standard Twinkie.
No,
it has a encasement on it.
Yeah, the encasement is like a chocodile. Let me look those up. But how about that?
Tastier of the two, without a doubt.
Definitely, yeah. Tastes like I really taste the marshmallow too.
I like this actually. It's good.
Oh, good. These are worth buying. If you see these in stores, totally get them.
The marshmallow, the Stay Puft movie tie-in Twinkies, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
The key lime Slimer Twinkies, thumbs down.
Yeah, I can take them or leave them. But the marshmallow ones are legit. And you actually taste the marshmallow flavor. It's good. Definitely a plus for that. Now, one more. We'll try out these Fruity Crisp, Fruity Pebbles, really.
So these
flavored Oreos. These don't have anything to do with Ghostbusters, by the way.
These I've actually seen in retail.
I've never seen them. I had to buy them on eBay. I have to buy all this shit on eBay.
I've seen these, maybe for a brief window, a few weeks, but I have seen
They're
these.
Limited edition, yeah.
These are easier to get than these Ghostbuster tie-ins.
Yeah, you have to search for these. Now, these smell just like Fruity Pebbles. If you're a fan of Fruity Pebbles like I am, That's a good smell.
You know, I actually like the Cocoa Pebbles better.
Oh, really? I like Cocoa Pebbles too, but I'm more of a fruity.
It's good, but it's just
too fruity for you?
Too sugary for me.
It's very sugary.
You know, also I have a complaint is the tricks. You used to have the fruit shapes, and it was very good cereal.
Now it's just circular shapes,
now it's
right?
just like chemical puffs.
Yeah.
Colorful puffs.
Fruity chemical puffs. Yeah, I know, right?
There's no tricks to it.
Why did they take away the shapes? Was it a production issue or too expensive
I'm
to
sure
produce those?
It's cheaper to make colored puffs than
bananas,
grapes,
bananas and grapes,
whatever.
Yeah, it takes away the charm of.
The Trix charm is gone from me. I'm never buying Trix again.
No, they failed with it. Maybe we can't see them because Tricks are for kids.
It could be true. It could be true.
But here they are. These are essentially now the cookie itself is just a regular, like the vanilla version of the Oreo. You know, not the chocolate one.
Yeah, so
and then the inside,
the cookies I think they call them the gold. It's
gold. Yeah, the gold version.
So it's not chocolate.
Not chocolate.
It's a standard white cookie.
And it's standard white cookie gold. And then the inside has the regular cream, but it has little crisps baked into it. And actually, it has the little crunchy crisps.
Oh, they are crisps.
Yeah,
I thought they were dye or something.
No, it's actually little pieces of it, and they crunch in your mouth. It's got a little crunch to it.
And this is called
Fruity Crisp.
Now, I don't think they have the license to Fruity Pebbles.
Of course, that's post cereal, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. So Sean's in the business. So, but let's take a little bite of these. Now they smell just like it. What do you think?
Overwhelming Fruity Pebbles cookie. That's what it is.
It's a Fruity Pebbles cookie.
No Oreo, just Fruity Pebbles.
No Oreo at all. It's 100% Fruity Pebbles cookie. But
totally good.
They're addictive. Don't eat too many of them.
It's literally, let me make a cookie that tastes like Fruity Pebbles.
If you wanted to make a cookie,
no Oreo to it.
No, it's total. The aroma, the flavor.
They went
the
to
crisp.
lawyers and they were like, "How can we copy Fruity Pebbles without being sued? Call it Fruit Crisps, and that's it."
That's it. We'll sprinkle some fucking fake Fruity Pebbles in there.
Chemical compounds there. They copied it, and
Red
it's
dye 5, yellow number 8.
So if you eat a lot of Fruity Pebbles and you want to eat a cookie, check out the Fruit Crisp for you.
Oh, hell yeah.
And on that note, we're going to end a long... we had a lot to talk about today. So I think
we had a
covered
lot to catch up. It was the summer catch up. We actually have one more thing. The Rogue One new trailer. Let's finish that, and we're good. What'd you think? Now, Rogue One is the new Star Wars movie coming out this December. It is not Episode 8. We had Episode 7, The Force Awakens. This is not Episode 8. This is a spin-off movie that is about how they got the plans for the Death Star, which was the beginning part of the first Star Wars movie, 1977, Episode 4, A New Hope. This is kind of like an offshoot of that. So this is going to be happening before the Force Awakens movies, well before 79, and even before Episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Takes place pretty not too far from
the very
New Hope.
A New Hope, 1977 Star Wars movie. So they came out with a new full trailer. Sean, what did you think of the trailer?
Exciting. They showed some new characters.
Mm-hmm.
You actually see Vader kind of
Vader's
walking
in the
around.
end of it. Yeah, you see the back of his helmet.
What interested me, there was an Asian guy. He seemed to have
Donnie Yen, yeah.
I think
he's kind of like a force wielder in the movie. Yeah.
So what is a Force wielder?
He's not a Jedi. He's just like a guy that knows the Force. Kind of like in A Force Awakens, Maz Kanata. She's like, I am no Jedi, but I know
Force
the Force.
inclined.
Yeah, Force inclined person, but not a Jedi.
I didn't even know Forrest Whitaker was in it.
Forrest Whitaker's
I see his face.
He's in it.
His
he's got
lazy eye.
He's got his lazy eye in the movie.